Hello, my viewers. Welcome back to another episode of Arsenal Live. Today's video, we're discussing, can George Pickens become the number one receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers? And my answer to that is yes. I feel like George Pickens has the intangibles, or like the physical intangibles, like the height, the size. He has he has some speed on him. He ran a 4.47 to 40, and the athleticism. I know it sounds a little similar to Claypool. Claypool has that the same thing. The height, size. He has athleticism, speed on him too. But I feel like George Pickens' mentality is a little different from Claypool mentality. Claypool mentality and George Pickens' mentality are like on different spectrums. I think George Pickens play a little more physical than Claypool, and he has that almost like that dog like tough mentality. I'm saying Claypool not tough at all, but sometimes Claypool don't play as physical as he can play. And I feel like George Pickens, like based on his, we've seen him from college, he just go out there and he played very physical and he like ready to give it to the cornerback every time. And he's not scared to go deliver a hit on the block. He's not. He'll go up and get those jump balls, and he has great ball tracking skills as well. And his route running a little better than Claypool's too. So I feel like he has a higher chance of being the number one receiver too, especially getting drafted in the second round. There's a lot of promising things you get drafted up high, higher up in the rounds too. And plus, going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that is very good. We're very good at what's the name at producing and helping receivers from any round. Even from any round, we make a receiver productive. Ray McClown looked very productive last year. Remember he was just thought as a punt returner, hit returner, and he looked productive last year. We got remember James Washington had a good year. That one year he led the team in receiving yards. Claypool, his rookie year was very good. He kind of last year kind of fell off a little bit, but I think he can get back on track. Mr. Johnson boosted him up. Remember he had the drops. Then he came back this year, made the Pro Bowl. Juju was productive with us too. Antonio Brown in the past, Mike Wallace. So it's the list go on and on. Martavis Bryant and stuff. So the list can keep going, and you see some players who like play good with the Steelers, they leave and go somewhere else. They might not be the same. Like Marcus Whedon. Remember Marcus Whedon was solid with us. He was a solid player. He made plays here and there, but he left. I think he went to the Bears or something like that. It wasn't the same. Steelers just have that way of I don't know. It's like what they got here in Pittsburgh. They got in Pittsburgh with the waters, but they're just very good at developing receivers and linebackers too, but definitely receivers though for sure. But I think George Pickens, if he can just like if he can they probably bulk him up a little bit more. He's like I think he's 195 right now. They probably get him to around like two like 10. I say around like probably 208, 210 ish. Like bulk him up a little bit more, and like the way his mentality is and the way he plays the game, he plays like a high intensity. He play a high motor. I feel like that would be he could set a tone, a different tone. Because the receivers on our team the past couple of years, receiving like the receivers haven't really been able to set a tone. Like Antonio Brown, he go out there, he set a tone. Antonio Brown put in a lot of work. They say he's one of the best, like the best practicers. I don't know if that's a word. Ever. Like he go out there, he practice with full intensity, and he play the game with full intensity. That's one thing you see Antonio Brown might say a lot of stuff off the field, but he gonna bring his 110% every single time. And what's the name? George Pickens, I feel like he has that type of mentality too. Like he can set the tone, and maybe it might bring some more juice and more energy to the receiving core and set that tone. We know Jesse Johnson made the Pro Bowl last year, but it don't set the tone. Like the receivers core don't set the tone. Like they like. I ain't trying to be like one of them people that saying that the people who talking about the TikToks and stuff like that. I don't really care about that, but I just like I feel like they don't be setting the tone like a physical tone. Cause Claypool, I feel like he can play more physical than he actually plays. Like he can like set a tone out there and like be a physical receiver and do it. You see it here and there, but sometimes you be like it'll be consistent a long period of time. So hopefully George Pickens be like that consistent piece long period of time, like for the whole throughout the season, and then people start feeding off of that. Like the receiving course start feeding off of that. Like, this young guy come in and he plays like this. He playing with this intensity. Let me start doing that too. And they start feeding off of it. But I feel like he has the intangibles to be the number one receiver on our team because we haven't had like looking at him like that. Really, we had like Martavis Bryant one time. He was like Martavis Bryant like 6'3", right, 6'4", and he had the speed on him too. He was very promising, but the off the field stuff held him down. But having a guy receiver this size. Gonna be very good. We have him, Claypool, Deontay Johnson, of course. Deontay Johnson is probably number one right now, and then you got Claypool, you got Pickens, and then you got Calvin Austin, who's a speedster, and he plays very tough and physical too. So still is adding those receivers who had that physical. They play physical. Maybe it might set a tone to the receiving core and shake it up a little bit, and they start playing. They start feeding off of that and start playing physical as well, more physical as well. But I think George Pickens, people compared him a little bit to Corey Davis a little bit, which is not too bad, but I hope that's like a no disrespect to Corey Davis, but you don't want him to be Corey Davis. Corey Davis is solid. He'd probably get 800 yards, maybe 1,000 here and there, but I've seen other people comparing him to AJ Green. Now that's where you want him to be, his like projected at. Playing like AJ Green, they said Mike Wallace. Well, okay, but AJ Green is the one you want to be projected at. You know, like because AJ Green, even though he was like a little slender in stature, just like Pickens, Pickens got some size on him, but he like a little still slender in stature. It was very physical. You know, AJ Green can go out there, he can make something out of nothing. And George Pickens, he can make something out of nothing too. I seen based on what we seen from college, they throw the jump ball up to him, he just go and snag it and just make plays. So I feel like George Pickens can be the number one receiver for the team. And he might become the number one receiver. That's my prediction. That's my bold prediction. For this year, George Pickens will emerge as our number one receiver. Like I feel like he'll have a good because like you look at the past years, all these young receivers taken up in the first and second round, and even some later rounds too. They didn't put up some big numbers like Justin Jefferson's, the Jamar Chase, the AJ Browns a couple years ago, T Higgins and all those guys and like, et cetera, et cetera. It's a lot of them. They always put up some big numbers. So like. I feel like he maybe due for one too. And I feel like the receivers that got selected in the first and second this you can put up some numbers too. Like John Dotson gonna put up some numbers. Gary Wilson definitely gonna put up some numbers and like and on and on. So like it's gonna be like I feel like the past 5 years receivers that have been coming out of college have been very very good and like they've been very like up to speed. They've been very like NFL ready. So hopefully George Pickens is one of those guys as well, and hopefully he emerges as a number one receiver. That'd be even great for us. But leave in the comment section what you guys think. If you like this video, leave a like, dislike it if you don't like it, and tell me why or something. But I'll see you guys next time. Peace.